Okay, so this is Hometown History, NeyChip's History Center. We'll add muscle to York Haven's good bones. So I'm Dami, and I'm with Jamie tonight at the new museum here in York Haven. And there is a new history center here, and we're super excited because it's a mere 5 miles from our houses in Newburytown. And we're here to tell you a little bit about the new space, and it's going to be in the library at 2nd North Front Street.
So NeyChip was formed in 2016 by the founder, Charles Stambaugh. It stands for Northeastern York County History and Preservation, and it's a 501c3, so
Yes.
they have their nonprofit status. So Charles was looking for a museum and a place to tell a deeper story of history of the area, and they cover 7 different boroughs or municipalities. They've got York Haven, Mount Wolf, Manchester, Goldsboro, as well as Newburytown,
Yes.
Conewago, and East Manchester townships.
They've got our whole area covered.
Yeah.
So guests can visit the museum 3 days a week to see the rotating exhibits, and that's Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday. Plus, you can check out a book because this is going to be a lending library.
Your favorite.
I know.
This library woman over
The
here.
museum is actually housed in the same space as the York Haven Library, but they're going to be 2 separate entities, so check out books from both of them. There will be computers to access sites like newspapers.com and ancestry.com, and then the second floor is a large hall that can be used for history presentations.
Ah, so cool. So many cool
Yes.
things happening. If you were to drive through York Haven, you'd see a lot of wooden framed houses that are hugging Front Street. And you might not guess this was a major industrial town for about 175 years.
Yeah.
Local historian Jim McClure and our behind the scenes third co-host for Hometown History just wrote an article about this.
Yes.
So any guesses what that industry was that put York Haven on the map?
What could it be?
If you have ideas, put it in the comments below. But the
Yes.
answer is paper making.
Paper. So the paper mill was built in 1885 over the footprints of earlier grist mills, which we've talked about in other episodes. And that original name was York Haven Paper Company, and later the International Paper Company. And to give a sense of the paper mill's might, it was the number 6 employer in York County in 1899 with 250 people. Gladfelder in Spring Grove was the 4th leading employer with 259.
6th largest employer right here in little old York
I
Haven.
know, putting us on the map.
So the paper mill relied heavily on the river for its power. The big Conewago Creek flows into the Susquehanna River up here in the northeast part of York County. And throughout its tenure, the company produced lots of different types of paper. They created newspaper, wrapping paper, waterproof insulating paper, and roofing paper. Lots of paper.
Who knew there were so many different kinds? So local historian Stephen Smith wrote, at the time it was built, the York Haven Paper Company was the largest ground pulp paper mill in the United States.
The largest in the United States.
United States,
right
here in
here.
York Haven. So when you think of York Haven, think of paper.
So unfortunately, York Haven is going to go into decline. So the paper mill closed in 1971, and over the past 50 years, the town has lost a lot. It's lost a bank, businesses moved out, 3 churches, including Dami.
Holy Infant, the
Yep.
Roman Catholic Church.
Yep, her own connection.
So about a dozen years earlier, I-83 bypassed York Haven for a second time. The first came earlier in the century when the Susquehanna Trail drew motorists from York Haven's Front Street.
Now, Jim McClure says that York Haven has been and is a river town with a capital R. But there's a significant loss, though, when the town lost its haven. So
Yes.
this is called York Haven because haven means there was a port or like a harbor. And it gave the town its name. And so it was called the Point for the locals. And it was this long time river access. It's right where the creek and the river met. But unfortunately, it went into private hands and it closed. And that kind of changed the town. So here is the ruins of what the paper mill kind of looks like today.
Yeah, and if you ever need a family trivia question at dinner, bring up why is York Haven named York Haven?
And that's a good one.
Yeah,
Nice,
I mean,
Dami.
we didn't know that before we researched
We can
this,
all be
so-
nerds like us.
That's what I do at dinner with my family. So there's a river portage area around the hydro plant and across Hydro Park that allows recreationists to carry their kayaks and their canoes. But boaters have to use river access in Goldsboro and the next borough north or bypass York Haven completely by using the boat launch across the river.
So York Haven has lost a lot. We've lost
It
a
has.
mill, boaters, motorists, and the paper mill. But the paper mill left behind this beautiful building. So they built it and they dedicated it to the municipality in 1920. So it's over 100 years old. And it's a reminder of this 8-decade-long presence because it's got this beautiful New England style library feel. He showed us the basement, and the basement's like really cool where they're going to have archives. And it was recently renovated with the help of some federal funds and is the place of this brand new museum.
Yeah, so we want you to take away from today that the museum museum is a big deal for York Haven. It's going to bring more foot traffic into the York Haven Library and just to the area in general. So it's going to really reinvigorate the borough. So come out on Saturday, this Saturday, May 18th, starting at 10 a.m. to see the grand opening and to meet Charlie.
Yay, go Charlie.
Yes.
Woo, go local history.
He's been doing this, I think he said 8 years he's been waiting for this.
And he's really passionate. When we got here, he was showing us around, giving us a tour of the beautiful museum, which you can kind of see a sneak peek behind us.
Yes.
If you want to come to our next episode on June 1st, we're going to be down at Indian Steps. It's going to be at 2 p.m. This one's a little bit different than normal because we're charging. This is a fundraiser for Indian Steps. So it'll be $10, and we'll have Lorianne Jacobs. She is the famous artist that did a lot of the iconic sculptures around York, like the Tin Man and Lafayette and the Vietnam Memorial. She's also my super cool badass grandma.
Yes.
So I may have talked her into this.
And it's really worth the price of admission because when you come to our talk, you also get access to the Indian Steps Museum and the grounds.
Excellent point.
Yep. Yeah. So come for the show, but stay for the museum.
Yay. All right. See you guys later.
Bye.